Hey everyone, Happy New Year 2022. I'm Kim, and I'll be speaking about today creation. And with the new year, it's a great time that many of us are a little bit more inspired. Sometimes we tend to get these bit of downloads of what we want to do. We do, vision boards and we journal and we do many of those things to affirm and to vision and create what we want for the year to look like. What I do want to speak about is not all of those things, but specifically what it takes for us as a soul to bring in our divine creations. Why have we come here? What are we meant to do with our gifts and our skill set in this lifetime? And how are we using it to raise our own consciousness, raise the consciousness of humanity? How are we serving the world with what we are meant to be doing? And that doesn't mean, just to say serving the world doesn't mean like you're going to be doing this big massive thing that's going, you're going to be in front of, massive people. That's not what it means. It's as little as, it can be as little or as big as it needs to be depending on your own predestined path, let's just say. So what I like to talk about is what actually happens because it is a cycle. Everything is cyclical in nature. You as an embodied soul, okay, are here to move through your evolutionary cycle. You are going through many processes that are healing you, that are helping you remember who you really truly are as a co-creator, as a creative consciousness. This is what you come from. This is who you are innately, a creator consciousness. That means that you have the ability to co-create what it is that you want in any given moment. Now, why is it that when we want to create the biggest things, we have, it just doesn't seem to happen, right? There are many things that impede the cycle. That means that when you receive the download, when you receive that first impulse, right? It's like that idea. It's like, yeah, I want to do this, or that really feels like a visceral experience. Or really, you just know when it's like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to create this, whether that be a project, a business, a book you want to write, a painting you want to paint. It is something that just comes through. That's your divine wisdom. That is your higher self connecting to the creator, to consciousness creation, to the consciousness of the creator, and it comes through in that moment when you are open to receive. Your heart receives it, you're excited about it. Now, that is the most fun part. It's a really fun part. But the next part is actually actualizing it, precipitating it, bring it into reality, into form. And that's where your ability as alchemist comes in. And that's why I chose to put him as the background here. This is a commission piece, and with the approval of my client, I'm just going to put him in my background right now. He came through to teach me more about who we really are as alchemists of our own reality. You hear people saying, yes, manifest. We can manifest anything we want. You put your mind, your thoughts, your energy, and there it goes. It comes into form. And that's true, absolutely. But there are more parts of it that we don't necessarily see. And so what I'd like to just kind of play around, I'm going to be doing a workshop on this. I'll be doing all of my work that's coming through in this year, this month, has to do with helping you take your creation, your idea, and bring it into form, whether that be like I say, a business, or it's a part of your business, or it's a program, it's a book, it's an idea. It's just, it is why, what goes through you, what happens in that cycle. The biggest thing I would say is, for one, just a disclaimer. One, I didn't learn how to paint. I didn't take courses. I didn't take trainings on how to paint. And some people would say, well, naturally, that's just your gift, right? Naturally, that's just your gift to paint, just like any other painters and artists. And on some level, it is. Um, but it is all of our abilities. Creation is what we are born to do. Innately in us, we are creators. And it's just a matter of stepping out of our pre-programs that we've picked up along the way in our life, in this lifetime, and multiple lifetimes, that have shown us the opposite, and that we've attached that somehow to be true. Like, I can't paint, I don't know how to paint, you know, when I paint it looks like da 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 da, there's no way I can create this. When I first decided I was going to take on painting more full-time, let's say, or more as a something that I know that I need to keep doing. It was just a hobby for me. It was just a dump. It was where I was, not a hobby, it was more like a therapy for me for such a long time, that now I'm taking it seriously, and I'm using my ability to co-create, to bring through the creations that want to be put forth on a canvas. Now, I take that information and I bring it in my life. What else am I meant to create? What else am I meant to do with my skill set of this lifetime? That becomes your purpose. You know, many of us search, well, why am I here? What's my purpose? You know, and we try this and we try that. Really, it's about looking at what is your God-given gifts, what are your talents, what are your skills. And you can't sit there and say that I don't have any. Every one of us has something. And it's a matter of going, okay, how do I utilize this, in what form? Because it'll be unique to each one of you. And that's the beauty about what you're here to create. You're not here to recreate somebody else's vision. You're not here to recreate somebody else's program or somebody else's thing. What is yours, and what is yours uniquely to you? And that's why the painting, for me, this was not an image that I recreated from a book or from the internet or from whatever. This was a co-creative experience with my client, in which he was asking me to bring forth the energy of the phoenix, what the phoenix represented as strength, as fire, as power, as wisdom, as transformation, as alchemy. And in order for me to be able to do this, I had to embody this. Now, I'm not going to go through all of that because that's not the point of this program. I'm going to be doing a whole series about him. However, what I do want to emphasize, and the reason I've I've chosen to put him in the background, is to show you that if I'm able to bring this to form without any formal teaching or training before me or any understanding, I truly just surrender. I had to surrender. I had to surrender to my ability to connect to source, to connect to divine, and allow it to run through me. And this is what you're doing as a soul here. You are becoming a vessel that can manifest, that can precipitate into form. But it requires a healing process. It requires a transformation. So that book that you might be sitting wanting to write, it's in the ethers, right? It's in the thought form. And sometimes it just stays there as this fantasy because we have so much program, so much karmic energy in our energy field that stops us from actualizing any action towards creating it. Or if we start creating it, then we tell ourselves stories that prevent us from actually finishing it. So this is what I'll be going through in one of my workshops that I'm offering for free. It's going to be, I believe, January 10th. I'll be putting some information about that, where we're going to just go through the cycle of creation itself. Where do we trip up? The best I can say to you is that if we don't become empty vessels first, you have to learn to become empty, to detach from everything we've held on to, all the patterns, the beliefs, the things like that. That's part of becoming empty. And when you become empty, you are able to receive. Then what do we do once we receive that information? What do we do when we are illuminated with a great idea? There are steps that you need to take. And my part is to help people clear away the resistance that's in the way there, because there is. I've tried multiple times. I mean, I don't know about you, but whoever has a business out here, it is tough. It's not easy to have your own business. It's not easy because it becomes the vessel to which you offer to the world what you've come here to do. That's one. And it doesn't matter that you don't have a business. It's not about that, but it's about what it is that you need to do for yourself to birth this. And as your soul, as a soul, you are going to go through this evolutionary process. It is inevitable. Whether you're even conscious of it now or you're full on into it, there are steps that you go through, and they're stages, and they help you raise your consciousness, raise your understanding of who you truly really are and what you're capable of doing. And so what I'd like is just to express that in this lifetime, you've come here to be co-creators. And the quicker or the more that you start embracing that aspect of you, that you're not doing it alone. For a long time, I was trying to figure out everything alone. And then I started really tapping into my higher wisdom and go, okay, how do we do this as a team? How do we do this in partnership? How do I now take this wisdom that has been with me and now share it with everyone else in the way that I'm meant to share it? Each one of you, when you go on this journey, are going to discover this for yourself. At first, I know I was like, for example, I'll take back my example of painting. When I first started out painting, I was copying. I was taking somebody else's image and recreating it. It was not fulfilling. At first, it was like, oh, great, look what I can do. But after a while, it was like, but wait, that's not even my work. I could feel it, and I stopped painting. That was stopped me from painting because I was stuck in it needing to look exactly like that picture, and it was not looking. And I had so much perfectionism in me. I had so much fear attached to it. Not, you know the criticism that comes through. It doesn't look good. It's this, it's that. You know this, and this is part of the programming that I had to clear to be able to come to the point where I could take a blank canvas and just go, Kim, just do your thing. Just let yourself move through the paints, move through the colors, move through this and that. And so that's why I use painting now as a tool. I use painting as a tool to help people get past the resistance of their ability to create. It is not about the end product. It'll never be about the end product, but it's about what it is that you are painting. How are you being a vessel? How are you clearer? Because when you first start, for many who've never done this before, let's say a painting experience with me, they go into a place where it's like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I've been there. I still go through that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just freaking painting. I'm just throwing stuff because the mind is trying to control. My mind is trying to understand what it means to be in the moment, right? It doesn't know how to be in moment by moment by moment. It's used to knowing, okay, that's where I'm going. That's what I need to do. Boom, 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 step. When you create from your soul purpose, it defies everything you've learned. It takes away all these things that people tell you how to do it. It goes out the window because you're not dealing with the same set of information. When you're dealing with the soul is not the same as the ego. The soul is not the same as the mind, where the mind needs to know, the mind needs a plan, the mind needs structure. Don't get me wrong, structure is important at certain parts of the creative process, but not at the beginning. At the beginning, you need to tap into the essence, you need to embody it, you need to work with the energy of it. And this is the other aspects of what I teach is, who are you vibrationally? When you begin to work with who you are vibrationally, your thoughts, your emotions, all of it, you begin to understand how your soul aspect of you, higher consciousness, begins to communicate to you, how you receive. You're starting to discern what you're hearing, sensing, what's right, what's not in alignment, what's in alignment, all of these things. Anyways, there's so much more that I'd love to say, and I don't want to say it all in one video, although I could. But I do want to save it up for a workshop. January 10th, I'm going to do a free workshop on the creative cycle and your soul evolution. So join me if you can. And I will also be launching at the end of this month a bigger program, a 12-week program. It is called Walking Your Path of Purpose, and where we go through so much more, but I will be doing more on that and sharing more on that. But it is all these elements all put into one thing and really birthing that which you've come here to do, and having the courage and having the strength and the wisdom and the love to bring through and emanate through your creations, because creations that you're going to do from soul have a much bigger ripple and have an impact because they carry the vibrational element that you brought forth from the creator essence, from your higher self. And when you do that, that's where the ripple, that transformation effect, those of you who are here to serve others and are doing work as light workers, as artists and all this stuff to help others, you know that the impact you create is the more that you are in alignment, the more you can bring in that information, the more it impacts. And that's my spiel for today. I just wanted to just say a little bit more. I will be coming in bits and pieces to tell more, and I'll be sharing more about him and his wisdom that he brought through as I painted him. He's been a work in progress, and it's amazing. Anyways, that's it for now. Bye.